Welcome to the Big Gun Keeper League Week 8 preview show. I'm Brad Armstrong.
And this is Brian Pirano. Every week we'll be previewing the matchups in Big Gun Keeper. First matchup we're looking at this week is the Kamikaze Dynasty coming in at 3-4 versus the Alaflow Boys at 1-6. As the playoffs loom only 6 weeks away, this is a must-win for the Alaflow Boys. At 1-6, he cannot suffer many more setbacks and expect to be a playoff contender. There appears to be two key matchups for the Alaflow Boys. First, does he play Peyton Manning against the Tennessee defense? The Titans have the third overall defense and the fifth best defense against the pass. The other option, roll the dice and start Jake Delhomme. The Panthers are facing a porous Cardinals secondary, ranked only 20th in pass defense. The other big question, will Willie Parker play? The Steelers-Giants game is a 3:15 start, so the Alaflow Boys may consider starting Fred Taylor. The Kamikaze Dynasty is looking to improve to 500 as he battles back to get in the top 6. This could prove to be a challenge with both Larry Johnson and Joseph Adai expected to miss their second straight game. As with the Alaflow Boys, the quarterback position is up in the air. Does the Dynasty go with the pass-happy Kurt Warner against the Panthers and the second-rated pass defense? Or with the suddenly hot Matt Schaub playing the lowly Bengals? Also, similar to Alaflow, Kamikaze will be eagerly awaiting the announcement of whether Willie Parker or Mewelde Moore will get the start. The matchup will come down to which owner makes the best game time start him or sit him call. In a close game, I'm going with the Alaflow Boys to improve to 2-7.
The next game previewed for Week 8, the T-Town Keeper versus Juan Back. Currently sitting at 5-2, T-Town Keeper is looking to put pressure on the Click for first place. But they will have no easy task getting past the 4-3 Juan's Back. Or will they? The Backpack is looking to get better grades in this week's report card after taking a tough loss to that same first place Click team we mentioned before. The only problem is, Juan looks like he forgot to prepare for the bye weeks. With Greg Olson and Ryan Longwell on byes and Reggie Bush out, Juan will have a tough time winning this game. Some possible replacements for Reggie Bush this week include Justin Fargas against the top rushing defense in the Baltimore Ravens, and a less than Colt-like Edgerrin James. Not to mention, T.O. still has Brad Johnson throwing to him, and Matt Kessel will be playing in a cold rain. This may spell Juan is back in the loss column for the second straight week. On the other hand, T-Town Keeper has a great matchup as the Skins travel to Detroit. The Lions have the last-ranked total defense in the league, and Washington should have a great day. But will this be a case of putting all your eggs in one basket? Maybe, but I will take that basket full of Portis, Jason Campbell, and Chris Cooley, and these eggs may just turn to gold. I will take the Keeper as they move to 6-2.
The next matchup is going to be the Po Boys at 1-6 versus the Tuscaloosa Vols at 5-2. This matchup is a story of two teams headed in opposite directions. The Po Boys are currently mired in a 4-game losing skid, but a recent trade may spark a second-half run. In the aforementioned trade, Donovan McNabb was acquired and could pay immediate dividends. The Eagles are playing the Falcons, who are currently 26th in pass defense. When coupled with the Tampa defense playing the suddenly reeling Cowboys and the 78-year-old Brad Johnson, the Po Boys hope to get back in the win column. On the other side of the coin is the Tuscaloosa Vols, currently riding a league-best 5-game winning streak. Expect the Vols' running game to have a big week, led by Chris Johnson, who's facing the Colts and the 5th worst rush defense. The Vols feature 3 strong running backs, none of whom played a top 10 rushing defense this week. To make matters worse for the Po Boys is the Vols quarterback Drew Brees, who's playing the San Diego Chargers in the league's worst pass defense. While anything can happen in fantasy football, the Po Boys are going to have a big weekend to challenge the Vols. Look for the Tuscaloosa Vols to win going away.
Our next matchup is the 2-5 Bourbon Boys versus the 4-3 D Boys. Despite the fact that Bourbon Boys have claimed to be more focused on football since the end of baseball season, the lack of bye-week replacements could spell no playoffs for the 9th-ranked scoring team in the league. At 2-5, the Bourbon Boys cannot afford to lose too many more. Some things to think about for the Bourbon Boys. Both defensive special team units have a bye, and who will they drop? Next, Reggie Williams is the only bye-week replacement wide receiver. Can you say, check the waiver wire? As for the rest of the team, Steven Jackson will need a second straight great performance and could play well, as the Patriots' 19th ranked rushing defense will have to stop the former Beaver without Rodney Harrison. With the weather predicted to be rough, this could be good news for Jackson's fantasy line, as he should get plenty of work. Also, will the Bills shut the Dolphins down? Or will Ronnie Brown play Ace Ventura and set the wild Dolphin offense free for a Bourbon Boys win? I have to agree with D-Boys and ask, damn, where your team at? The Bourbon Boys have hope, but not much. The D-Boys are expecting Brian Westbrook and Anquan Bolden back. Thomas Jones and the Jets are hosting the worst run defense in the league in the Kansas City Chiefs. And Trent Edwards and the Bills are playing at the 27th ranked Miami pass defense. That should be enough to spell victory. There are a lot of question marks surrounding this game. Will Bourbon Boys make the necessary changes? Will the D-Boys studs make a difference? I'm going with Yahoo in predicting a D-Boys win. Look for a Bourbon Boys to either have a Week 9 fire sale or a total collapse in favor of baseball grandeur. Now it's time for the Week 8 game of the week. Capital Punishment versus the Ass Whipping Clique. The Clique is the only team in the league to have 3 200-plus point performances. That would be a great reason to pick the Week 8 game of the week favorites. However, the Clique's 3 highest scoring players are all on a bye week. Uh-oh! Aaron Rodgers, Adrian Peterson, and Ryan Grant are all sitting this rumored classic out. Before the season, if you said your wide receivers were Braylon Edwards, Dwayne Bowe, and Chad Ocho Don't Know My Name-O Johnson, you would be thinking championship? But this is the Big Gun Keeper League, not the 22 caliber public league your little brother plays in to cheat his friends by using 2 different usernames. This is some good news for the Clique. The Clique's current cadre of running backs is projected to put 72 combined points on the scoreboard. Jeff Garcia is playing against the one-legged Cowboys, and they do have the Raider defensive special teams going. The Raiders unit actually ranks in the top 10 in both sacks and interceptions. However, this won't help. The game is in Baltimore, the Ravens don't pass much, and they won't be losing either. And with rain in the forecast, this means the Raiders will get to see more McGahee than Flacco. Ernest Graham and company will tote the mail all over the Cowboys, and Garcia will be a non-factor. Bad matchups all the way around spell ruin for the first place no more Clique.
Well, Capital Punishment in this game of the week is trying to regain their winning ways. After a 3-0 start, they have dropped 3 of their last 4. It will be no easy task as they face the league leader. If the punishment is going to triumph, Michael Turner must play a major role. Coming off a bye, Turner faces a competent Eagles defense. In addition, Willis McGahee might also be primed for a big day. After a slow start, he had a breakout game last week against the Dolphins and looks to continue his success against a subpar Raider team. And if I had to pick a sleeper this week, it might be Santana Moss. He's been quiet the last few weeks, but the Lions' 31st ranked pass defense should allow Moss to have a big game. This should be close throughout the day. Check back often with this score, but I see the Clique running their record to 7-1.
It's a good pick. I got a question for you, Brian. Is this a plain throwaway game? I mean, maybe, but Capital Punishment may be catching the Clique just in time. But I'm still taking the Clique and a low-scoring squeaker.
Well, that does it for the game of the week. We hope you enjoyed the first week of Big Guns preview. If you have any questions or comments, please email either of us. Enjoy Fantasy Sunday and Monday.
Special thanks to our camera girl, Leanne Durrett.